If you're thinking of starting as a freelancer in digital marketing in 2025 and have no clue where to begin with, then in this video, I will answer 5 biggest questions that every beginner has, from income potential to whether you even need a marketing degree. By the end of this video, you will know if freelancing is for you and how to make it work in 2025. So the first question is freelancing in digital marketing a sustainable career in 2025 and beyond? The answer to this is yes, only if you treat it as a business and not a side hustle. Not something that you do on Saturday, Sunday, but you do it full time. You are completely devoted, completely focused on this particular field, and you are focused on that the entire week. And you are not considering it as a side income or passive income stream. Because as I have traveled for the last 2 months in 4 countries like Malaysia, Bali, Vietnam, and Thailand, and I have met a lot of women from different parts of the global, right? And coming over and working. So when I met them, what I realized is that many of them have full-time job and many of them are doing freelancer or even business of their own. And there is an increase in the gig economy, remote work, and a creator economy, which kind of supports this entire freelancing. So yes, there is a potential of rising demand for digital marketing as a freelancer, even though AI is replacing some tasks, but it's only replacing the mechanical tasks where the strategic thinking is not involved. But if you're someone who is into strategic thinking and making a plan for a particular company and how to execute it, then yes, there will always be a demand for you. Execution of task is being replaced, but strategic thinking as a marketer will always be in demand. Even now, my role with the businesses is more like consultations, more like creating planning strategies, how to tweak, how much budget to allocate to different channels. This kind of strategic thinking is involved, and when to do particular marketing. These are the kind of strategic thinking that you need to begin with. Just not get focused on how to set up a campaign and all. It's becoming way easier than ever. Even the recent phenomenon that I have felt is that clients have started to prefer to work with specialized freelancers. Clients have become much more result oriented. Marketing is getting much more traction because of the increasing digital involvement from different businesses, and people are getting results, right? So every businesses do want to do marketing digital platforms. And as a digital marketer, you are the person who handles this and a strategic thinker. If you want to know how you would like to scale the entire process of how to channelize this path for your profession, then it's like learning, then you find a niche that you want to specialize in, then automating that, and then eventually scaling using the AI tools that you are getting. So learning, niching, then automating, and then eventually scaling. Freelancing itself is not fragile. Instead, being stagnant is. You have to keep learning, because I have years of experience with marketing. Even now, I have to learn. There's no escape out of this. Now, the second question is, do I need a marketing degree to become a successful freelancer? The answer to this is absolutely not, because I have no marketing degree, even not an MBA, nothing. But I have taught about marketing to students. Yes, I feel that as an achievement. Even I don't have that much of qualifications, right? So success completely depends on skills, results, and reputation, and not credentials. When you're pitching your freelancing services to any client in digital marketing, be it or anything else, it's always what they consider is real world results and not any academic. Yes, that used to happen back in the days when our parents used to work. They were looking for academic qualifications, how much percentages, where have you qualified from, the university that you studied. So now it's mostly about the real world situations, how much clients that you have had, how much budget that you have used for your clients. Those kind of experiences, what people are looking for, what our ideal clients are looking for. And if you're someone who are just starting out, then free and paid online courses are much better. Going to universities and learning from there, attending classes, right? It's better to go for online courses, be it like Udemy, Upgrad, Growth School, right? Those are some of the institutions or online courses that we have in India. So yes, that's something that you can try for. Even though I purchased some courses from maybe Growth School or Udemy, I have mostly gained my knowledge from YouTube, completely free resources. If you are someone who learns from videos, then I would say Taskir sir, I have learned a lot from him. He speaks in Hindi. His videos are in Hindi. You can watch that. He has a lot of knowledge about digital marketing. and he has different playlists for all of it, then you should watch. And if you're someone who is just starting out, then it's better to build your own case studies by working with some small shops or businesses, providing them free services. In return, you get free case studies, right? So that will help you to build your portfolio, to showcase your potential clients. Hey, I have done these things for my clients, and this is the result that I have gotten in maybe 1 month or 2 months, right? Or you can invest yourself with some passion projects. You can build maybe a course or do anything. For that, those things you can actually brainstorm by visiting Twitter. You'll have a hell lot of ideas of any businesses, and just pitch whatever you have done for similar businesses who are doing it much larger scale. So that will be helpful, really, really helpful. I do work with some agencies. We hired someone who does not have any prior experiences. He was hired just for his passion project that he built with Shopify. He was trying to sell the e-commerce business that he had. Guy, yes, and he's doing really good. And I believe he is hired with very good package as well, because of the enthusiasm that he has, right? How keen he is into learning. So if you have that curiosity in mind to learn, then definitely you will even get a good package as a beginner level. Even in my experience of last 7 years, I've met numerous freelancers and digital marketers. All the top freelancers or digital marketers, they have learned from YouTube. They are self-taught. So it should not be any issue for you without spending any money on courses, right? If you don't have any money, that's completely fine. I'm telling you, all the resources that you need, YouTube, for completely free of cost. Yes, it might be a bit scattered, but you need to invest some small amount to get in a structured way. But if you want to do it for free, it's right there, YouTube. Clients don't ask if you studied marketing. In fact, they ask if you can bring them leads, solve the problems, and bring sales and growth for their company. Clients don't ask if you have any marketing degree. Instead, they just ask if you can bring them leads, sales, and growth for their business. They do not anything else. Not with your marketing degree or how much percentage that you scored for your MBA, just results. That's what clients are interested in. And in fact, anyone is interested. And the third question is, how much can I realistically earn as a beginner freelancer in digital marketing? So for the first 3 months, expect close to 20,000 rupees in India, or if you are abroad, like internationally, expect close to per month. And here the focus is not about how much you earn. Focus is on learning and building a proof of work. In the first 3 months, it's all about getting clients. Obviously, when you're doing freelancing, you should have some expenses, some budget, some money on your bank account for your daily budgeting, your daily expenses. Once you have, that's when you should ideally start with freelancing. That's what exactly I did. I had some money close to 3-4 months for me to sustain in Hyderabad. I was working for a marketing agency in Hyderabad. I quit my job during the COVID, and then I started freelancing. In the first month itself, I closed a deal which was for 15,000 rupees, which was exactly close to what my salary was. My salary was 19,000 rupees. I was making 15,000 from the first month itself. So that was a win. So again, even now you can expect close to 20,000 rupees per month as a freelancer in the initial 3 months. Completely depends on how you learn about sales and how you pitch to the clients, right? And also how you can build the proof of your work. Yes, it might go to 6 months as well, but that's completely fine. Yes, that's a fluctuation that you have to bear when you are starting as a freelancer. And from the 4th month to 12th month, you can earn up to close to 30,000 to 1 rupees. It completely depends on your skill, the niche that you choose, and how consistent you are with the work. The learning, as well as most important, is sales right here in freelancing. Yes, you need to be really good with sales, how to attend a Zoom meeting, how to talk to the client, how to gain the confidence is everything matters when you're starting as a freelancer, and how to send an email. These are some skills which is different from digital marketing, but this is very vital when it comes to freelance. After maybe 1 and 2 years, once you learn about key elements and you have found out that niche where you want to scale, that's where you will be making close to 1 lakh and above, especially if you're dealing with international clients. You will also need to find the exact services that you are interested in, that you can strategically think about how to scale and how to help. And you need to also find out the niche or the community where there's actual demand for this skill. And these high demand skills are usually the SEO, the meta ads, email marketing, and etc. And this entire scalability depends on the value based pricing and client retention and referrals and proof of work. These are the three important points that you need to consider while you scale your business. Value-based pricing should justify the value that you're providing to the client. The second is client retention. You are not losing your clients. You're providing good quality services to the clients so that they are not going, right? You are retaining them. And the third is referrals and building a proof of work. And honestly, I am not much of a fan of sending emails, cold emails and stuff. That's a very good strategy to get new clients. But I have personally limited my process of getting sales. My sales process is limited to word of mouth. I know that if I'm focusing on my product or my stuff, there'll be a word of mouth and they will end up referring to other clients as well. And the fourth question is, which is better? Agency job, in-house role, or freelancing? So I am someone who has done both agency job as well as freelancing, but I have not worked with in-house marketing team. I think the best part is to move from agency to freelancing, but all the three categories have benefits and own pros to it as well as cons to it. Ideally, I feel you should move from agency to freelancing when you are starting as a beginner. But to give a differentiator between all three of them, this is how it is. In the agency job, it's fast paced, great for learning multiple clients and tools because most of the tools are expensive and the clients that you're going to handle of different industries. So that gives you an exposure to how to work and strategize for all the different industries. That broadens your strategies for all sort of clients. But it can also burn you out quickly because agency life is a bit fast paced, right? Where you need to keep doing for different clients, explore and increase your bandwidth. There's always the crunch in the bandwidth that happens because once you start scaling, the workload increases. And since it's not same niche or same type of clients, you always have to start from scratch for all these clients which are in different industries. That's for agency jobs. So when it comes to in-house role, it's deep understanding of one brand. All your strategies will be around this one industries and their competitors, this one company, right? Be it like small scale or big scale. The strategies that you're gonna adopt will be depending on the size of this brand, the competitors that they have, the industries that they have, and the exposure will be very limited, but you will get a stable income since you are part of a company and it must be an established company or brand. When you are, because marketing agency is one such department where they try to keep it lean, and yes, they don't hire like 10-15 people for marketing in the initial stage, be it any brand. They just hire one by one. They start with very lean team and eventually expand as they grow. This also gives you not much of a exposure to new trends and platforms, new tools, right? There will be limitation to that because not all channels perform equally well for one brand. It differs based on whom you're targeting, your ideal client persona. Based on that is what the channels are being decided. And so whichever channel work for you or your brand, that's what you're gonna be working for the long time. But now when it comes to freelancing is highly potential. There's a lot of potential to make a lot of money, which can also give you some uncertainties in your life. It shows you that yes, you might have work-life balance, but it can also be very much tough on you initially because getting clients is very tough in the initial stage. You have to bear that period, that 6 months or 1 year of time. Even though when your income is less, you have to be consistent on what you do. Even when you don't see any results from your efforts, you have to put in efforts consistently. But eventually at one point, your luck, your efforts, all your hard work will be aligned to get you that exponential growth in freelancing career. And there'll be client diversity where you will be getting exposure to many different clients. Depends on which niche you are. If you want to just focus on one industry or if you want to just focus on the one type of service that you want to provide. For me, it was PPC and meta ads. So yes, that's how I have scaled my business. You will have that freedom to decide with whom you want to work, how many hours you want to work. Yes, that decision will be open on you. Recently, as I said, I have visited 4 countries in 2 months. If you want to know how the freelancing life looks like, if you are enticed to know more about it, then you can watch this video out here. Yes. But my advice for you is that if you are starting early in your career, if you are just beginning with freelancing or you're beginning to learn about digital marketing, then I would suggest that you start with an agency, work around the people who are experts, learn from them, and then eventually move to freelancing and not directly jump into freelancing, because you get to learn a lot about professionalism,
sales, how to talk to a client from the professionals who have experience of 5-10 years, seniors, right? That always helps. So I'm someone who always looked up to my seniors and learned a lot from them. So yes, you should try to do that as well.
Now, the fifth and final question that I have for you is, how do I know if freelancing is the right path for me? To answer this is a set of questions that you need to ask yourself. You need to understand your personality, because freelancing demands a lot of discipline. And that is the phase where I struggled the most in my freelancing. That initial 1.5 year, I found it difficult, get new clients, when to work, how to reply, all those stuff. It was difficult. So here are a few questions that you need to ask yourself, and based on that, you need to decide. Question one: do you enjoy learning independently by yourself? Because freelancing needs you to learn by yourself. There's no senior who will tell you, then you do, then you do. No, you have to decide which one needs to be and at what time you want to learn. Yes, so you have to learn independently by watching YouTube, by taking courses. Second question is, are you okay with no fixed salary for few months? Because that's the case for many of us. For me, at least, I took 1.5 years to actually get good income so that I can support my family. I can sustain my things. It took me 1.5 years to reach that level of growth. So it depends on your family life. It depends on what age group you are in. I started as when I was 27, or yes, 27, 28. It's been close to 4 to 5 years now. And the responsibilities that you have, right? Coming from an Indian family, there will be responsibilities, your eldest son. Those things matter. So consider all those facts, and based on that, you decide if you freelancing supports your sources, if it's okay for you not to earn much in the initial fee. Third question is, ask yourself, do you like solving real problems for businesses? Like, there have been situations where I'm not actually working on stuff which are directly related to businesses, marketing, like meta ads or SEO. It is completely different in business standards. I need to get their average order value, lifetime value, the ROAS, the money that they spend on marketing, and all the stuff. So it's not just when it comes to freelancing, you won't be strictly limited to doing marketing. You may need to deep dive into their market, their businesses, their competitors, their management, the admin level things, and a lot of things involved. So it depends on that as well. And fourth question is, can you handle rejection, late payments, and uncertainty, which is part of freelancing? When someone says that I'm a freelancer, imagine that he has been through all the situations like payment getting delayed, getting rejected for sales calls, or anything. In fact, for anything, like you're waiting in a Zoom call and people are not attending the call. That does happen, and a lot of uncertainties in different levels. That's part of the freelancing life. Oh, when I imagine that, it was tough, bro. It was tough initially. Anyways, anyhow, I managed to pass through that. I'm in a stable phase thanks to my clients, thanks to the people who have supported me throughout. And in fact, if you watched this video till now, I'll tell you a secret that my parents didn't know that I have quit my job initially. Even now, they don't know that I have quit my job, which I used to do 4 years back. I can tell them now because I'm doing good with my profession and how I am established now. But yeah, these are some of the nitty-gritty that we guys have to handle. We have to take that risk, not burden our parents, not trouble them, right? That's what all of us want to do. So yes, that's a phase everyone has to go through. If you are starting as a freelancer, I deeply, deeply want you to understand that there will be a tough time where you'll be questioning yourself. Can I even do it? Am I the only one who is not making money from freelancing? Is freelancing the right decision for me? Bro, sister, stay into it. Stay put every effort. Just there's that phase of 1 year will be tough, but cope through that and you'll find the way. And understand that you can start freelancing part time, where you can start freelancing Saturday, Sundays when you're doing something else. But freelancing you can do like that when you're like initial 1 month, 2 months to understand, to get different clients. When I started as a freelancer, I had 2, 3 clients of gym in Hyderabad. If I'm not sure if you guys will know that, but I'm just saying I used to go to this few gyms, and they used to pay me 2,000 rupees for me doing this Google My Business. You can whatever you can search in Google, what is Google My Business. I used to do that for them. So I had a plan of making at least 6,000 so that I can pay my rental. I can shift to some place where it's cheaper, right? I had that plan when I initially started off. And understand, if it doesn't work, if there's a situation at back at your home where you have to provide to your family with some sort of income, right? So you have always that backup plan of going back to the job. When I have this 1 year of time, if it doesn't work out, then I can go back to job. But to be very honest, I was very satisfied of how it went for me. In the first month itself, I got a client which used to pay me 15,000 rupees, and I used to work for like how many 2 hours a day max. Whereas by working for like 9 hours, 10 hours for an agency, they used to pay me like 19,000 for a month. So yes, it will be paying you really well if you keep yourself put into it. You should not fear about the AIs coming in and getting the digital marketing job. No, that's not true. Uh, Ultimately, the jobs which are like low skilled are getting replaced. You can check out this video of mine where I'm learning about AI and how I'm upskilling after digital marketing, how I'm trying to inculcate AIs into my workflow, my work. You can check that out in this video. I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you so much. Check it out. Thank you.